get off, please. Hey. Sit.
I'm just gonna step back while you do that.
Okay, hey besties, if you are watching on YouTube, this is our first video, so welcome to I Think I'm Human Too. My name is Catherine, this is my brother Aaron. This is the first episode with a guest, and our first episode recording on YouTube. Please sit down. We have our co-hosts that clearly...
You can see Abby right here.
One's a good worker, one needs to be written up. So, let's get this party started. Last week's episode, since this is like your first time probably watching on YouTube, how I have structured our episodes to go is every first piece, like first part, is going to be whatever topic we want to talk about. I've already talked about a couple different things on my podcast. You can watch it on all platforms. And then every episode, I do a part 2.
So sorry. Some people need an Ambien.
Every episode, I'll do a part 2. So after part 1, I wait about 24 hours. I open up a questionnaire on Instagram. Any follower or listener can go and ask a bunch of questions, whatever questions they may have, share a story, share anything that they want to share that was relatable to episode 1. And then episode 2, which is like today, it will be answering questions that people have. So Aaron is maybe going to stick with me for the future. Who knows? We'll see how today goes.
I'm here for the long run, y'all, so...
We sure are.
Get used to this.
Every episode, I like to try a new drink. Last episode, I was drinking a Cutwater, so shout out to Cutwater. This episode, we are drinking...
Espresso martinis.
Espresso martinis.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
This is all homemade with our best friends at Tito's and Starbucks, so thank you to them.
With lots of love. So, yeah, I'm going to get the podcast set up so we can record podcast and record video and put a dog to sleep today. So, who's ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I can be.
I'm ready. Let's get this party started. Okay. And then for podcasts, I don't really share anything like drink-wise because they don't see it.
Yeah.
Like I don't shout out anything or do anything along those lines.
Do you have any like thing on your podcast that you're like weary about, like swearing or like I'm not gonna be like mom,
Nope.
you know, family last names or anything like that.
Nope, that's the one thing is I'm trying not to use people's names.
Yeah.
So obviously dad we can speak on because it's dad, but.
Well, who's gonna track him?
Right. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of I Think I'm Human Too. My name is Catherine. I am the host and I have a special guest, which I'm hoping will not just be a guest. I'm hoping he's a long-term bestie pal of mine. It's my little brother Aaron. You have probably seen and known him from either TikTok or Instagram or just in general. He's clout chasing off of his big sister.
I hate you.
So say hi, Aaron.
Hi everyone. As a professional clout chaser, I'm here to get my bag, so I'm excited to share that with the rest of you guys.
Okay, so last week, mind you, I am also recording. I went out and bought a new camera. I've been promising this for weeks. So we have a camera. We are on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. If you want to watch, that should be up at the same time. So we're on all podcast platforms. You can listen to us there. You can listen and now watch us on YouTube. So I'm very excited about that. Aaron will be editing all the YouTube videos. So if there's anything naughty in them, blame him. Okay. So last week's episode, I was talking about the loss of our father. So we lost our dad just over a month ago. And last week's episode, I was primarily talking about the first few weeks after losing dad, things that we went through, things that I was feeling emotionally, mentally, physically. So just a kind of little recap, I did take time off of my job. You've done the same. We both are acknowledging that is a huge blessing to be able to have, that not a lot of people that are grieving get that chance in life. So I think it's been huge for me. Has it been helpful for you to not work?
It's been easier to kind of work through a lot of the other stuff. Life doesn't really stop. And so catching up in all the areas that I'm involved in, except for work right now, has been hugely important to get through school, get through life, get through emotions, check on everyone, all the things. I'm very blessed.
Absolutely. I agree. So let's take a second before we get into this episode. Who are you? Tell us everything that we need to know about Aaron Ebbs.
Alright, so the rest of the podcast is going to be about me, you guys.
Cheers.
No, I'm Catherine's younger brother. Currently, I go to the University of Minnesota. I'm so close to being done, so everyone come to graduation or
Venmo him $10 for an espresso martini in December.
No. If you really want to pay that, I'll just give you a link to my, university payment plan. Other than that, there's not much. Kind of just here, living life, working through all of these new emotions we get to go through.
What do you do? What are you going to school for?
Ooh, I almost forgot. It's about me. But
it's about me.
I'm going for public relations and advertisement. So we'll see where that goes. I would love the opportunity to do some sort of advertising campaign with a big fashion brand, or maybe I'm just marketing for clients on their own.
Ooh!
I don't know.
Influencer manager?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. It's been a lot of fun. Live in Minneapolis right now. Got some amazing supporters around me to get us through these difficult times.
Okay.
So that's been fun.
Aaron is the
light of your life.
next brother in line. So we have one older brother, then it's me, then it's Aaron, and then we have a baby brother. Not a baby, he's 21. So Aaron and I are the middle children. We are the closest out of all of them, I would say.
Most alike, but I am the favorite, and Catherine is
the least
far from it, to say the least.
It's okay. We forgive and forget, and we drink through our pain. Anyways.
We used to compete all the time for who's favorite, but now that we have a soul...
There was no competition. We made it. We thought.
We got through it.
We're here. Anyways, okay, so that's a good intro. I'm actually hoping Aaron will co-host with us. I would love to see him on every episode. If that's the case, and he does stick around, I will need to get more equipment for you, so we can maybe even just sit in our own chairs and not be a foot away from each other and tickle each other all episode.
I don't want to get farther away from you.
I need
It's hard
space.
moving out.
Okay. Anyways, so that will be coming in the future if he does stay long term. But this week's episode, we're going to be going over the questions that I got asked on my Instagram. So I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of nervous. We wrote them all down. We went through. There was so many, which every single episode where I do an answering, I always say this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether you've been a follower, whether you just see me all the time on your pages, whether you're just listening just because a friend sent this to you, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. I can't say thank you enough for even just social media is not my full-time job, but having this month off and being able to structure my life around focusing on social media, it not only gives me excitement, joy, but it also does relieve the stress of not having an income come in, because there is money around social media. So not that my income is fully social media, but it's been a blessing. So whether you support all day, every day, or every once in a while, thank you. I appreciate that. It pays for my martini addiction. Okay? Okay. Actually, I'm going to lose people now. They're going to be like, I'm not following that alcoholic anymore.
Oh, no. You guys got to stay tuned. We got big plans.
We got big, big plans. We got big, big plans. So we're drinking espresso martinis. That's our dad's favorite.
We're kind of chugging them all lately, just to get through, to say the least.
We'll get to that when we get there. Yeah. Okay, so how are you doing since Dad?
I'm here. I'm here just with you.
Take a sip.
I probably should go brew up a next batch. There's day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. There's not really much that I'm able to really control about what I'm going through. I don't know how any of us are doing. Same as all of our siblings and our mom and all of our other loved ones that we're with right now. Obviously some days are much more challenging than others. Some, afternoons are much difficult than the nights. I don't know, it all comes in waves.
Oh, yours is the afternoon?
It depends.
Mine's nighttime. That's weird.
My mornings suck. Every now and then.
My mornings, my afternoons, my late afternoon, my early evening, my nights.
Ugh.
I feel you.
My 2 a.m.s, I don't know. It's been difficult. I mean, how about you? How are you holding up when I don't get to tickle you?
You know, it's funny because I ask those questions to you expecting like I know the answers. I don't know the answers. I would say the same, just hanging in there, hanging out. Okay, so starting with question number 1, someone had asked, what has been your hardest part of your grief journey?
That's a fucking textbook like answer right there. I don't know. The hardest part.
Give us the deeds.
I don't know. I think everything comes in different waves at different times with different triggers, and so it's difficult trying to associate what I'm going through different moments, like small triggers, like Dad hated rap music. I'll listen to a rap song and it's just like suddenly like
rap music is reminding you of Dad?
You don't remember when you'd be in the car?
No, I do, but I didn't think that would be the one thing that would trigger
No,
you.
not all the time, but it's just, every now and then shit like that happens.
What was that one song we used to... Oh my gosh, my dad... What is that song? WAP.
He hated it.
Our dad slurps. I'm really bad with that. I always say sorry. Our dad would slurp anything and everything. In the last few months of his life, I'm sorry. This is gonna be a hard episode for both of us, but especially Aaron's first one. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
My dad would slurp anything and everything. It could be a freaking salad. He'd be like, I'm like, how are you slurping a salad?
Well, he did pour a whole thing of blue cheese.
Blue cheese, for sure.
It was definitely more
that
cereal at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
That shit was cereal.
100%. But what we would do is we would start playing WAP, that song, and he'd be like, turn that off. And I'd be like, I'll turn it off and you stop slurping. And then he would stop slurping. So that song, every time I hear WAP, it's not played on the radio as much as it used to be, thank goodness. But when I would hear it, I would be like, ooh.
See, the worst part is we knew all the lyrics. And so I'd be singing it to him while he's
slurpy,
slurping
slurp,
shit down.
slurp.
Then I was like, well, I had to ask. I was like, well, Mom, is this something you're listening to with him?
Stop it. Okay. Anyways, hardest part of your grief journey. So you're just finding that it's triggers
every
throughout your
day
day.
is different. There's no easy part. It's definitely triggered a lot more anxiety, a lot of stuff like that. I've also found it difficult to be very interested in a lot of things that aren't really pertaining to my loved ones, family, and close friends.
I will agree on that one.
I really want to try and be supportive to other people and other things, whatever it might be, but it's just I don't have this space to just...
Have you had those days where you're like, you go about frolicking around and you're like, you never know what anyone's going through, so you want to be so nice, and then people treat you like shit, and you're like, I'm trying so hard to be nice because I don't know what you're going through, but I want to punch you in your face!
Not in the same vein,
Me
but...
either.
Dad was always...
Don't worry.
What did Dad do? Dad was always nice to everyone, and he would be telling them his social security number at the latest Target
Dad
checkout.
would give out all business info. He would be like, here's $800 to make your day better. What can I do to assist you in pleasing you?
Yeah,
I remember at one time there was a Costco. We were at Costco, and you know how Costco checks your receipt at the end? Mm-hmm. They snatch the receipt from Dad's hands, and he looks at the lady, and he goes, are you having a bad day? I just remember looking at her, she was like, oh shit. And then she's like, oh no sir, sorry for snatching. And he was like, no, it's okay. I was like, I literally remember that like it was yesterday. I was probably in high school visiting at the time. Yeah.
Oh
I loved that he would, because he wasn't just nice to everybody, but if you were mean to him, he's always nice. So he would call people out for it. I loved that shit. I thought it was the funniest stuff ever.
Oh my god. That's what I want to be like. That's where
I don't think you could ever.
I don't want to be. No. I'll get there. I don't want to be overtly sunshine and everything like that. But I certainly want to have that kind of ooh,
keep
mama. I want that kind of sincerity with a lot of people. I think.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time Dad and I and Will were moving me into.
Will is who?
My older brother, or our older brother. I shouldn't say my.
The oldest.
The oldest.
Will's the oldest. I think Will's okay if we name drop him.
That's okay.
At this point, it's too late. It's too late. I've already done it.
Well, okay.
Okay, so your hardest part about your grief has been your random triggers throughout your days.
That and just the overall kind of just a weight point on everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Just everything.
So I think I would say mine is sadness. I don't consider myself a sad person. I've talked about this in last episode. I believe it was last episode. I don't struggle with like grief, or not grief, depression. Sorry, my husband just left, and so the dog is sad. She's annoying. Anyways,
speaking of which, I think I'm annoying too.
Yeah.
Go get your
shout out to my merch. Thanks for having us with me
It's
today.
all online. It's in her bio.
So my hardest part that I've been finding is I don't suffer from like anxiety, depression, any of those, which again, it's something I acknowledge. I'm truly blessed to not have everyday mental struggles, and I've spoken on that again in the past, but I've noticed every single day, I know I have situational depression, but it's like on top of everything I'm going through, I'm like learning a new mindset, and I'm just constantly oh my goodness. I'm constantly
You're okay. Oh, she got down quick, you guys. Yeah. Smash that shit.
Anyways, I'm not even like cutting recordings. Normally I do when she starts barking, but at this point I just don't have the energy for it. So yeah, I've noticed that I'm just constantly sad, and that's something I'm really struggling with right now because I've never had that feeling before. I've never felt depressed, and I acknowledge and I know that I'm depressed. But it's a new thought and a new feeling, and it can be out of nowhere. I really am struggling right now with driving. I don't know if you have that, but
I keep seeing his car everywhere, and I'm like,
not just that, but like I'm alone, I'm in the car, like by myself. It's the one and only time like I really can be by myself. Music really affects your emotions, and when you're by yourself and you're sad and you're depressed, you like put on stuff that makes you even worse. And you're like, oh my god, I'm crying in the car. And I'll be like on the highway just bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, get it together. One, you probably look like a freak, because anyone that looks over, like if I were to look at myself when I'm driving, I would be like, what is that bitch crying for? Like I need a sign in the window that says my dad's gone. Like I don't know. I need something that just is like, please give me a break. Please don't cut me off.
No, if anyone knows any good place to go tint their windows,
Facts.
from a legal standpoint, let me know.
Facts. So another question we got was our favorite memory, and both of us immediately when we read that question, we were like, we don't have one favorite one. Our dad, like we've stated, was a very happy, kind, loving, just an all-around amazing soul. I say this a lot, that I think that there's a lot of angels here on earth. I also think there's a lot of people who aren't angels, but there are angels on earth, and I truly believe our dad was one of them. I think he blessed anyone and everyone he came in contact with. You could not hate our father. Like, there was just nothing bad about him. I mean, there's a lot of things that annoyed us or that frustrated us with our dad. That's very common and normal. But as a whole and as a human, there's absolutely nothing you could hate about him. So when you think of your favorite memory with him, it's like he made every day enjoyable. Every encounter, every dinner, every Christmas, everything. There was nothing surrounding our dad that...
They all stand out, so you can't pick one.
Actually, to me, they all blend in. It's like every encounter, they're like, there's so many. I mean, my husband, if you were to ask my husband that question, his favorite was going and just chilling in the sunroom at my parents' place, hanging out at night, and it would normally be the four of us, me, my husband, my stepmom, and my dad, and we loved those times. It was like very quiet, it was just normal, nonchalant, everyone doing their own thing. But for his kids, I mean, I don't know if I could really pinpoint a favorite.
I don't know, I feel like I'm just, same way with triggers, I'm just getting like different reminders of memories very frequently, and each one is its own thing to relive in that moment, or at least attempt to relive it. Though whether it is just sitting in the car, a song comes on that brings you back to when we were 12, going to a car show, or like whatever it might have been at the time. So it's difficult because everything was good. I have one bad memory of him when I was like 2 and I was getting like yelled at.
Oh, I was gonna say, have you ever gotten yelled at? I had one encounter and it was Will's fault and he did it on purpose.
No.
We'll get to that.
That shit was terrifying, but I thought, it's funny.
It's funny. It's funny. I'm gonna cut us here for a second. I gotta fix the camera and we're gonna make more martinis while the camera charges for a minute, and we'll be back. Okay, sorry, I saw the camera was dying.
That thing went quick though.
I don't think. Huh? All right, girls. No.
How do they come? Come here. No? Okay. You need to treat them better.
I know. All right, ready? We're back!
Ew.
Okay, so we made more drinks. The girls got to go potty. We charged the camera. We only got 2 bars, so we might have to do that once again. But let's move along. Let's get on to our next question. Hadley, please come lay down. Hadley!
Sure.
All right, so next question is something that we pulled. Again, we had lots of questions, and we just pulled our favorite ones. This one was traditions that we have to honor Big Papa Ibs. And let me just start by saying, our family has lots of traditions. But again, our dad was a go-with-the-flow kind of man. He loved the traditions, but he wasn't the one that came up with those traditions. That was 110% our mom. And he was just along for the ride. So I kind of want to transfer that question into not traditions that we previously had, but what are we doing for our future where we want to honor dad, specifically to each other. So like, what do you want to do in your lifetime that honors dad?
That's good. I think overall is definitely just be like proud and successful. He was always just like our number one supporter, fan, all of the things, was always excited by everything. I remember being at school all the time and him just giving me random calls and asking me about classes, and he didn't retain any of it besides that I was there and the grade was passing. But I think for each other, traditional based or whatever, I think it's just we all have a little aspects of him in our own ways. A lot we share, a lot we have uniquely to ourselves that are portions of him. So I think those are just something to kind of not let go to the wayside or have it be changed by other people. I mean, or anything like that. We always change with different people who come in and out of our lives.
That's deep.
And so,
we really do. That's true. That's sad.
Everything. So just trying to hold on to those.
Oof.
How about you? Tell me everything.
So I have a couple things in the works. I know you know this. I can't really give too many details right now. But I have a couple of different things in the works for not even just like us. Like obviously we lost our dad, and literally the first or second day, I remember thinking like, how can I have him with me every single second of every single day? So that's a little bit of a clue of like what's to come. There's a couple other things, and everything that we're doing in the background, and again, we can't share yet, but everything that we're doing in the background is a portion of the proceeds are going to be going to Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation. I don't know, don't quote me on the exact name of the foundation, but something that's really, really, really important to me is the morning of, and I don't want to get too detailed there, and I talked about this in the last episode, so I'll kind of just restructure from the past of, I have 0 regrets with our dad. Like every single encounter I've had with him, every fight, every yelling, every shut up, I've never regretted in my entire life. The one thing I do have regrets of are the morning of, and I really want to educate. I can't educate on CPR. I can't educate on medical anything, but what I can educate on is the experiences I've been through. And the morning of, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. And I wish I could go back in my shoes of that morning and just tell myself, your dad's not going to make it out. It is what it is. Instead of freaking out, let's calm him down. Let's calm the boys down. Let's just remain calm. And that's something as a medical professional, they know. I don't know that, and I would love to speak on that because especially cardiac arrest, I've talked about this previously. You just have very small chances of making it out, which means that the people that have to sit there and deal with it, I would love to educate those people in the future of like, hey, know what to look for and know it is what it is in their last few seconds of life where they're consciously listening to you. So we'll get there, and I'll post that again. That'll probably be Instagram is my main source of posting of anything new, exciting, linking. I just always really post on Instagram, and then TikTok gets the back end, and then podcast gets the really back end. So
no, it's not back end. It means it's been fleshed out thoroughly.
Yes.
So y'all are going to get
Instagram
the most true stuff.
So that's kind of our things that we're going to be doing in our future to honor Dad. I know Aaron's really working on finishing school. I know both of the other boys have their own sets of how they want to continue on in life, to live vicariously through Dad's being
and also for him, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, we're all unique and have shared those aspects. Every relationship means different things to different people, so holding on to what that was is special, and trying to keep that alive is definitely not the right word in this context.
No, alive is a good word. It's a sad word.
To keep it, going. Just, we all get through the days, and sometimes those traditions we have with someone, or those quote unquote, rituals, people go to coffee shops every Saturday or whatever it might be to catch up. That's a ritual that people have. I don't know. Keeping those alive is different context for all of us, and making sure that's something we can do together as a family, as siblings, as daughter and son to parent, or just for yourself, I think is very important for us all to hold on to. We can always share so much with each other, or even find the right words to articulate what we're going through is its own challenge.
And every sibling is different, too. I mean, every person, I say this all the time, everyone grieves differently because everyone loved and is mourning a different relationship. We both had different relationships with our father. It was the same man that passed, but we have different traditions, different lives, different memories, different everything with our dad. So I think if you're going through a loss and your sibling's doing something, like right now, so for me, for example, I'm tuning this more into my platform. Like, I'm really hoping that I can teach people. And that's something that I feel. So if a brother of mine is like, all I'm doing new in life is opening doors, because my dad literally would open doors for anybody. Like, anyone. He would stand there for 6 minutes to hold the door for everyone.
I get so annoyed sometimes when there's like 30 people come through.
But if one of the brothers wants to do that to honor Dad, that's a great way to do it. It doesn't mean that you need to be building a platform somewhere to teach hundreds of thousands of people. It doesn't mean that. So it could mean that you smile every once in a while at new people, or you buy the people in line behind him coffee. So however you honor your loved one or your lost soul is on you.
Yeah. And in the same vein, I think of it too, not even us to uphold, but sometimes there are different people that come into our lives who share those characteristics that are something you can then attribute Dad into a little bit more. I get that a lot with some of the siblings, partners, and everything like that, mine included. It's just very nice to see like similar attributes just reinstated and just a different person, and it just is like a different sort of like care and just everything
They'll
that
show
that
up
comes
in different ways.
Exactly.
They'll show up
They might
everywhere.
share the same thing. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's good.
I agree.
In this context, I think.
I agree. Our next question is, how have you been coping through grief? And you know what I'm going to say to that? Cheers.
Stay tuned.
Cheers.
Cheers.
When we know, we'll let you know. I think my main thing has just been...
Let's figure it out.
Getting up every day. I literally think that's step one. I posted something on Instagram the other day of like, I physically have to force myself to get out of bed to get anything done. And I got people DMing me like, well, duh. And I'm like, no. Literally forcing myself to get out of bed and brush my teeth. That's
like
like
that are bugging me.
That's a job.
For you.
That's a job. Yeah. Aaron's logged into my Instagram, so he gets to see some of the comments and DMs, and people are ruthless.
People are...
One of the questions, when I put out this questionnaire...
that was kind of funny.
It's mean. Someone said, we get it, your dad is dead. Quit shoving this down our throats. You probably killed him by crying about him. And I was like, okay.
That's a single child right there.
Facts. Anyways, so another question we got was, and I'm actually very, I don't know if the word excited fits well, but anxiety that this has caused, not just in general, we're not going to talk about very blatant or blanket, anxiety. We're going to talk about anxiety about losing someone else. How have you had that?
Someone, frame it differently, and someone new.
So
like if I were to lose,
we've never lost anyone.
No.
Dad is our first loss.
Hardest.
So far, it's the only. So for example, since Dad's passing, I have really struggled with. I'm constantly checking people's locations when we're together. Even if it's the middle of the day and you drive home, I make sure you get home. I panic about my mom. So we have two moms. So I have my mother, and then he has his mom. So his mom is my stepmom. So I have two moms, and then you're very close with my mom as well, which is not normal for divided families.
Fair.
So
if
both of
y'all
us
hear me
we have two moms.
Stepmom.
Yeah.
I'm talking about her mom. This is my stepmom.
It's weird. It is
We're
what it is.
do our thing.
Someone did ask, can we get a family tree breakdown? No, we don't have one. Okay,
I'd love to give it to you. Some people are estranged right now for funsies. So until that check goes through.
Yeah. Ancestry.com.
Wait, who?
Anyways, okay, so my anxiety has been losing a sibling or one of our moms. I don't know even how to speak on it, or my husband. I keep forgetting to like include him in that.
I don't know.
I don't know how to speak on it. I think it 110% has put anxiety in my system of like, again, I've never been an anxious person, but now I'm like constantly, just for example, this morning, my husband, or was it last night, this morning, one of the times, my husband was coughing downstairs and I was upstairs and I was like, are you okay? And he kept coughing and I was like, are you okay? He kept coughing and ignoring me and I was like, are you okay? Anyways, so next question is, do you believe in signs?
Yes, in some vein I do. One hand, I think people attribute signs to different things, just to me, like, it's like a comfort thing almost, like attributing, this leaf falling or this bird to Dad in some way. I feel like that's just like how we all like cope. But in the same vein, I definitely feel like I've seen something.
I feel cuckoo.
I feel like, maybe it's one of the Christmas ghosts or whatever the heck is with us. I don't know. There was this one night where my partner and I were sleeping and we both like woke up in the middle of the night and just felt like a presence there. And we like both went back to bed thinking it was nothing after a little bit, but then woke up the next morning and we both were like, did you feel this? And he was like, yeah, I felt this. Did you feel this? And I was like, well, okay, yeah. And I don't know, it was like within the first week of Dad's passing, and I don't know, in some vein, I feel like that was just
we haven't had that.
Me going cuckoo, or that was someone visiting us saying, hey, how you doing? Like,
I'm watching you.
Don't tickle nobody.
What doing? What doing? That's what our dad would always say. He always dropped words. He'd be like, what doing? What up?
He was
Starbucks.
A little ambiguous, let's
special.
say.
Bill was special.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had that. People keep saying you're going to see him in your dreams.
I haven't seen him in dreams.
I haven't. Mm-mm.
I don't know if that was like some sort of dazed. I don't know what it was induced by.
Did you guys take anything before you went to sleep?
I really don't remember that far back. That was like that first 2 weeks I was taking anything under the sun.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean,
my first 2 weeks I wasn't taking anything, and now I'm taking stuff because I could not sleep. I can't dream. I don't have nightmares. I don't have any of it. Oof. The one thing that's tough for me is like nighttime is where I'm like, I hit the pillow and your brain like starts going into, I don't know, like the end of the day stuff where you think about anything and everything. And my brain is just like traumatized. So, let me answer. So do I see signs? I feel cuckoo. I feel like a lot of people keep telling me we'll see signs. He'll talk to us when he wants to talk to us. I'm like, no. I talk to my dad when I want to talk to my dad. Like, where you at? So
we know where he's at.
Right. But where are you though? I know where you are. You say 6 feet under. You're fucked up.
Hey.
I know where he physically is, but I'm like, spiritually, whose house are you at? Like, are you with Mom? Are you with one of the boys? Are you with us? I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen Dad. I've heard that like it's just we need to be open to it, I guess. Something that's been really difficult for me is I talk to him a lot when I'm alone in the car, because again, the car is kind of the only place where I'm alone. And I'll talk to him. And there was one time, yesterday actually, I was driving home from running errands and stuff, and I had said, Dad, like, and my dad and I are yellers. Like, we don't talk at a normal level. And so anytime I would go to his house, or I would talk to him, or whatever, I'd be like, Dad! And he'd be like, yeah, honey? In like a very calm voice, which was always so funny. Or he would do something like, he'd be like, Aaron Benjamin! And Aaron would be like, yeah.
I always have to preface that when people, I'm like, our family doesn't talk.
We yell.
So you yelling at me doesn't give me shit. But if you're screaming at me, it's going to be a problem for you.
Or if you start pointing, at me.
If that finger comes out.
Oh, the snapping? No.
Anyways.
His mom and my stepmom snaps. And whatever. Anyways.
Those bitches.
So, yeah, she'll be
I like you.
I'm like, no, we're not snapping at people. Anyways, that is like in the car when I'm by myself, I'll yell at my dad. I'm like, Dad, where are you? Like, what are you doing? I'll be like, or I'll tell him, I'm like, I miss you. Like, I say that a lot. It's like, I miss you. I hope you know that I miss you.
I keep saying fuck you because he's gone. And I'm
Do you? Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you. Or it's either that or it's like,
for real, bro?
Can you help me pass Spanish?
Yeah. Daddy. Dad, I really need this deal to close.
Or like when we were coming back from New York, like, please don't let this one crash.
Oh, yeah, the turbulence.
That shit was bad.
Skirt, Billy. Anytime things go well, I'm like, thanks, Dad. But anyways, in the car, I'll be like, Dad. And yesterday, I was in the car, I was driving home, and I was like, Dad, like, I just hope you know that I miss you. I was like, I'm really mad. I'm really sad, but I'm really mad. And it's true. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm very angry. Like, I think that's a grief characteristic trait or whatever feeling that comes from grief. I'm so mad. I'm mad at my dad. I'm mad at, and I know this is going a little off topic, but when my dad first passed, my dad has a sister and a brother. His sister has no children, and his brother has children. But his brother was not a very present father. So our uncle is not that he wasn't present. He just isn't the dad that like our dad was. And his kids even say that. Like, Uncle Bill was an amazing father figure because their dad wasn't. Or maybe my cousins do have some, whatever, it's not my business. But I looked at my cousins when my dad passed and I was like, why wasn't it your dad? I literally hugged one of my cousins and I was like, I'm really sad and frustrated, like, why was it mine and not yours? And that's really fucked up to say. That is, like, really fucked up to say.
I've been there. Or do you get jealous at people when they get to talk about their dads
or
and I can't talk about them anymore?
No, the TikToks where there was this TikTok I saw and this girl was like, I went and laid in my dad's lap like I used to as a baby, and her dad just no, literally, like, she...
What were y'all doing? Deja vu or something?
Ew, stop being gross.
I don't know.
She, like, got up and her dad was sitting on the couch on his phone and she, like, got up and she went to lay with him. And her dad just, like, completely just, like, held her.
Bring in that, like, childhood,
like, as a baby.
Comfort.
Like, he just held her. And she said nothing. He said nothing. It was just one. And immediately I'm like,
fuck you.
Fuck. It's not even a fuck you. It's a fuck.
It's like, I don't get that anymore. And it's not, I'm mad that you have that. I'm mad that I don't have that.
Yeah, it's like, shame. It's not a jealousy. It's a... Anyways,
I'm jealous. I'm jealous as hell.
But there's so many people that are jealous of us. The few years that we did get with our dad on this planet, like, they didn't ever get that. So I acknowledge that. I feel like we're really, really blessed to have the dad that we had. And even just, like, having a social presence. I talked about this in the last episode where there's so many people that reach out and are like, oh, my God, your dad touched me. I know we're strangers, but your dad touched me. And I'm like, that almost makes it harder. To me, it's like, it's wonderful. It's amazing. I love him. I love y'all. But I'm also sitting here like, I'm mourning for my followers who are mourning my father, who never even met my dad. I'm mourning for my followers who have lost their father and they're relating. I don't know. It's a whole new world. Anyways, I do believe in signs. I feel like I'm not seeing them as much as other people say that I will. Maybe it'll come. Maybe it's just me being still in denial that he's gone to accept the fact.
I fully have not processed it. Mm-mm. That's for my shrink.
Good question. This is a great question. I hope the camera hangs out long enough for us to answer this. How has this changed your current relationships?
Oof.
Oof. Oof. Oof. You know what?
Cheers. Well, I think early on in the first like grief and like shock of everything, it was definitely more along the lines of just like, and it still is, of just like take everything it is more intentional and just like very much being very present and like
intention is the
yeah,
number one word
and
I would use.
soaking up a lot of like the interactions I have, but a month later, so who knows down the line, am I going to value me and my roommate just standing in the kitchen silently pouring our waters? Like, you can be intentional about everything, but I think in all relationships, it's just as a more of a reminder just to be more, honestly, more in every aspect. Go loud and proud. Like, who cares? If other people have problems right now, props to you, go through it. We're all facing our own things, and it's just like I want to help, and like be there, be a person, just be more someone who Dad can be more.
But I will say, when you speak on this, I interrupted you again.
No, I'll let you go.
Anyways,
wait.
When you
I know.
Okay. When you speak on. Okay, so when you lose someone, right? Something goes through your brain of like you want to change, you want to be better, you want to. You don't flip a switch overnight. Some people do, but it's very hard to be like, yeah, I'm going to be an amazing fucking person, because our dad was. My patience is at an all-time low. I've never had patience to begin with as a person. Him and I are very similar in that sense. We do not have any patience, and it's really sad because I'm like, I don't mean to be impatient. I just am a goer. And our dad was a go with the flower. And it's like, I want to be like that. Now that he's gone, I want to live through him. I want to honor him. I want to be intentional. I want to be present. I want to be all these things. But I feel like a lot of people speak on what they want to do. And it's really hard. It's really hard no matter what. Like, him and I, we can talk about how we want to change the world and how losing our dad really affected us. But at the same time, it's like, it's hard. It's hard to just like flip a switch and you're an amazing angel running around opening doors for everyone, paying for every coffee behind you. It's like, yeah, our dad did that, but that doesn't mean that we immediately flip a switch and we're like ready to save the world. I don't know. So I will say being intentional is really the only thing that you can do. I mean, you can say all these things and you can want to do all these things, but living in the moment, I'm a very big recorder. I record, I take photos. My husband hates it. My dad actually hated it. All the boys hate it. Yeah, not you necessarily, but even our youngest brother, Andrew, he hates the camera. Like, on the birthday trip that my dad passed on was for Andrew, and Andrew was like, please don't record on this trip. Like, please don't make TikToks. And I'm like, no. And there's so many of those videos that I have of Dad on his last few days, and I'm like, I don't regret them at all. Because we all get to look back on them. It's not just me. We have like a shared album where we share everything of Dad, and it's like, it's not just me. So be intentional, record what you want, be present, but also don't feel like you have to flip a switch and be this amazing human being, because we're all really struggling right now.
Be intentional. We're back again.
Hold on.
Right? Okay.
All right, y'all. We are almost there. We're getting to the end. Our camera keeps skirting out on us, which is understandable. Get your knee out of here. You can't sit with us. All right, we're gonna try and wrap these up. Get some dinner in us because we've been drinking all evening and no food, which is like Bella Hadid status, but that's okay. Where was the moment of realization that this is your new reality? Like, you are a part orphan.
Ooh. It really hasn't.
Same.
I used to go long periods without talking to Dad, just with school and life and whatever, and so his calls and mine to him were very randomized, and therefore my intuition is just expecting that call to come through. Yes, we put him in the ground. We did a lot. Still hasn't clicked. That's another thing. A future shrink and I will figure out together.
You don't want to talk to your sissy about that?
Mm.
No, same. I don't feel like it's hit me yet that Dad's gone. There's so many times where I'll like catch myself trying to call him, thinking of him. And one thing that I really, really, really struggle with is when I'm sad, down, missing him, or any of those things, I go through, and a big thing is my TikTok was a lot about dad. So like people will still comment on old videos not even really knowing he's gone. And so something that's really probably hindering my growth and my moving forward. I never want to say moving on because I'm never moving on from my father. I want to move forward though. I feel like it's very difficult right now just for the simple fact that seeing him alive in these videos feels so real. Watching him over and over again, talking, hearing his voice. A lot of people comment and will say, oh my gosh, I wish I had these about my dad. I wish I had videos of my dad. I wish I could hear his voice one more time. Yes, it's amazing to have, and I'm sure in 20 years I'll be very thankful. But right now it almost feels harder because it is hindering growth. It's hindering it's really just, it's putting me almost backwards of like it doesn't feel real.
It puts you back in that time because it's like I miss him. Let's go back to the summer.
It feels so real. And even like, Hadley, please stop. We're not doing that. Hattie, please. Anyways, okay, so last question. What was the best piece of advice that dad has ever given you?
I don't know. There was a lot that dad
My dad always told me to feed my dog and said nothing about how to get her to stop barking. Okay, answer your question.
Apparently. I think for me, dad had a lot of very wisdom, I would say. Wisdom. He had a lot of one-liners that he did a lot, and there's a lot that he would always tell us. I think one thing is he always kept saying,
the camera again.
I'm not spontaneous, even though he was the most spontaneous person I know. And so that's not advice, but it's something he always said. It was just like, not spontaneous. Yes, it was. That's such a lie.
Bill, if dinner was at 6 o'clock and you didn't tell him where it was, he would back out because he didn't know what's on the menu.
More fun stuff when we'd be going out and crap like that.
Oh yeah, that. Dad always would say, what is it?
Trust or swivel?
Keep your head on a swivel.
He said, put your faith in everyone, but don't trust anyone.
Why are you rushing? Quit rushing. The journey is about trust in the journey. Something like that. The grass doesn't always grow greener on the other side.
How did he say that?
He would always say that. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is green where you water it.
I don't know what he was smoking, but it must have been sativa.
Anyways, okay, we're going to have to wrap up because the camera's dying again and I'm too hungry to keep pulling this off. Aaron, I really hope that we can do this another time. I already know that you will be back. Oh, especially when he watches himself on YouTube and he's like, oh my god, I look amazing. He'll be like, I'm back. So we're going to wrap up this week's episode. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for chit-chatting with us. Next episode, I don't know if it'll be dad related. The last two have been Bill related and I don't know if I'm over Bill yet.